Vaishali Siddhappa and welcome to my channel Complementary Economics, and today's concept, the gold standard. The question is, write a short note on the gold standard. This question is for 6 marks. From around 1870 to the outbreak of the First World War in 1914, the prevailing system was the gold standard, which was the epitome of the fixed exchange rate. We used to use completely the gold standard for the fixed exchange rate. All currencies were defined in terms of gold only. Every currencies in the world, every currencies will be completely dependent, relied on the gold. Indeed, some were actually made of gold only. So currency is not only dependent on gold, few of the currencies were made up of all gold also. Each participant country committed to the guarantee for the free convertibility. So there is no much expenses in it. Everybody have a free easily convert without paying much of its currency into gold at the fixed price. Actually, every price, the price what we have here, that will be completely fixed. This meant the residents had at their disposal a domestic currency which was freely convertible at a fixed price into another asset acceptable in the international payments. This also made it possible for each currency to be convertible into all other at the fixed prices. Exchange rates were determined by its worth in terms of gold. Where the currency was made of gold, its actual gold content. For an example, if 1 unit, say currency A, was worth 1 gram of gold, 1 unit of currency B was worth 2 grams of gold, currency B would be worth twice as much as currency A. Economic agents, A is equal to 1 gram, B is equal to 2 gram. So in this case, economic agents could directly convert 1 unit of currency B into 2 units of currency A without having to first buy gold and then sell it. The rates would fluctuate between the upper limit and the lower limit. The rates what we have of the gold currencies, that is going to fluctuate between the upper limit and the lower limit. Upper limit, lower limit, that means 1 to 10, 20 to 30. So between these numbers. So this is called as a limit. So this is the upper limit, this is the lower limit. In this way, it can be fluctuating. These limits being set by the cost of melting. So what will be the cost of melting? How much, when we are going to melt a gold, how much money it is going to take? Shipping, when you are going to ship, and recoining between the two currencies. So these are the expenses. By considering, we used to fix the upper limit and the lower limit and the price of that. To maintain the official parity, what we used to do is, the official parity, each country needed adequate stock of gold currencies. They have to keep some amount of gold currencies and gold reserves. All countries on the gold standard had a stable exchange rate. There is fixed, a stable exchange rate. There is no fluctuation in it. To maintain the equality, adequate stock should be there, each and every country. At the same time, the rate at which they are going to change, it was completely stable. And the question arises, would not a country lose all its stock and gold if it's going to import too much? Just to correct the BOP, the kind of a deficit what we have, don't you think we're going to lose all our gold? So the mercantilist explanation was that unless the state going to intervene, the mercantilist, so who is actually mercantilist? The mercantilist thought was associated with the rise of the nation state in Europe during the 16th and the 17th century. What they said is, if the state is not going to intervene, for controlling through tariffs, quotas, Tariffs means the imported goods taxes. Quotas mean restricting the quantity. Subsidies on goods and services through exports. If they are not going to interrupt, a country would lose its gold, and that was considered one of the worst tragedy. So if they're going to do this way, definitely we're going to lose a gold. The government is going to it's going to interfere through quotas, subsidies, exports. It will be a worst tragedy. David Hume, who is noted as a philosopher in the year of 1752, refuted this view and pointed out that if the stock of gold went down, the stock of the gold, if it is going to come down, all prices will come down, all the cost is also going to come down, and no one in the country would be worse off. Everybody will be fine. Also, with the cheaper goods at home, you will get all the goods at cheaper prices. Imports would fall and exports will fall, and exports are going to increase in this situation. It is the real exchange rate which will determine competitiveness in the economy. The country from which we were importing and making, till now and making payments in gold would face an increase in the prices and the cost. The prices and the cost, they both are going to increase. So there now expensive exports will be there. The expensive exports what we have, that is going to decrease, fall, and their imports of the first country, it will become very much cheaper. It will go up. The result of this price-specie flow. What is price-specie flow? So the precious metals were referred as a specie in the 18th and the 19th century. The specie means the precious metal. So this price-specie flow mechanism is normally to improve the BOP. Why we adopt this precious metal thing? Because we want to improve the BOP of the country losing gold. So in this case, and worsen that country with the favorable trade. It's going to come with favorable trade balance until equilibrium in the national trade re-establish at a relative prices and keep imports and exports balanced with no further net gold flow will be supplied. This equilibrium is stable. The equilibrium what we are talking about, that will be completely stable, self-correcting, require no tariff, no state action. The fixed exchange rate were maintained by an automatic equilibrium mechanism. Continuously everything will be coming to equally with a market mechanism. No need to interrupt in this case. Several crises caused the gold standard to break down periodically. Moreover, the world price levels were at the mercy of gold discoveries. This can be explained by one of the theory, that is crude quantity theory of money. We were discovering more and more gold. So that's called M is equal to KPY. According to this, which like GNP, output. GNP is nothing but output also. Output got increased. The GNP got increased at the rate of 4%. GNP is going to increase at the rate of 4% per year, and the gold supply also increased 4% per year, and the prices will be very much stable in this. With mines not producing, the gold in that case, with mines not producing this much of gold, if they are not able to produce this much of gold, the price levels are going to be fall. the price levels are going to come down all over the world in the 19th century, in the late 19th century. Given this to social unrest, for a period, silver supplemented gold, introducing bimetallism. Bimetallism means two metals. The two metals are silver and the gold. When there was a shortage of a gold, so we used the silver as just a supplementary. Help the economy on gold. Paper currency was not entirely backed by the gold that time. Typically the countries held 1/4 gold, so they typically hold the 1/4 gold against its paper currency. Another way of economizing the gold was gold exchange standards, which was adopted by many countries, which kept their money exchangeable at fixed prices with respect to gold, but held little or no gold at all. Held very little gold, otherwise no gold at all. Instead of gold, they held the currency of some large countries. The large countries are like US and UK countries. They wanted to hold that country currency because which was on the gold standard. That country currency is also just like a gold standards only. All these and the discoveries of gold, Klondike and South Africa helped keep deflation at bay till 1929. Then 1929, some economic historians attribute the Great Depression to this shortage of liquidity. Great Depression started, we started facing the liquidity and shortage of liquidity, less of liquidity, a shortage of liquidity in the economy. During 1914 to 45, there was no maintained universal system. We did not maintain any system in this, but this period saw both a brief return to a gold standard and a period of flexible exchange rate. Then we realized the fixed exchange rate is not going to work for us. Flexible exchange rate is the best for any economy. So then we started coming with the flexible exchange rates. So I hope you understood this topic. This is one of the 6-mark question for the Karnataka PO board. I hope you understood the class. Today I completely completed the microeconomics and the macroeconomics, all the syllabus. All the best for your exams. Do well. Thank you so much.